Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another video and to my 2022 channel update. There's not going to be much to look at in this video, so just sit back and listen to my voice for 10 to 15 minutes. This is the third time I've tried to record this video. It just kept going on far too long, but I'd like to very briefly discuss plans for my channel in the future. 2021 was my favorite year of being on YouTube. I got my comments back early in the year, and it really changed everything for me and made me enjoy doing videos and making content 100 times more. Especially pairing that with the live streams I would do and all that. It was just so fun. And that fun and energy is something that I'd really like to continue with on my channel moving into 2022. I definitely struggled in the past with trying to find a balance with all of my different types of content. In my head, I sort of categorize what I do into three categories: review, cars adventures, and other. And I feel like for quite a while there for me, it was difficult to balance my three different types of videos. Reviews are reviews, cars adventures is cars adventures, of course, and other is literally any other type of video I do, whether that be a comedy sketch or like the story of, or cars that should be made, or my thoughts, or whatever. And I think in 2021 I finally hit that balance, with the exception of Cars Adventures having a pretty bad upload schedule quite often, but we'll get back to that. So yeah, I'd like to continue doing that. I'm very happy with all of the series I currently have running on my channel. Currently I don't really have any new series being planned, but I'm sure you'll see some new series pop up throughout the years. Not years, throughout this year. And I'm sure some of them will have one episode and then never see the light of day again. I'm sorry, Quick Facts. There was just not that much I could do with you. The Will Rush episode was fun to do, though. Anyway, first thing I'd like to discuss in terms of content, we are rapidly approaching 4,000 subscribers, and very excited about that. I have two videos planned for it currently. First one being a Q&A, so leave your questions for me in the comments. I already put up a community tab post asking you guys for questions, but I'd love some more questions. As many as I can get. I won't be answering all of them, and I won't be answering like the typical questions that I don't answer, like how old are you or where do you live. So if you're planning on asking that, just ask another question. Also, regarding questions, if somebody else asks a question that you were planning on asking, just comment another question instead of rewriting that question, please. In filming a Q&A, it can be pretty difficult when several people are asking the same question. So if you see a comment, somebody already commented the question you were going to question, just like that comment so that I know that, more people want to see that one answered, instead of re-commenting that other person's question, please. The other video is the Cars Iceberg, which I filmed back in like July. It was supposed to be out by like October. I just kept adding and adding and adding to it. It currently sits at over an hour and 10 minutes long, and now it's planning to be my 4,000 subscriber special. I recently added even more to it though, so now it's probably going to be like an hour and 30 minutes. Luckily for me, I edited about half of it back in October, so there's not as much more work to do, but there is more content that I've got to add to it and then edit all of that. So don't expect that to come out immediately when I get 4,000 subscribers. That's why I'm doing the Q&A, so I have sort of another video to do there to hold you guys over. Now, Cars Adventures, right? Unfortunately, the most recent Cars Adventure season is still not finished. The last episode I did came out on Christmas Eve, and there are still 2 episodes left. I haven't been able to film it for the past week, though, because I've been quarantined for the past, week and a half now. But I should be able to get back to it. The next Cars Adventures episode should hopefully come out tomorrow, and then the season finale the next day on Tuesday. These two are pretty disconnected from the rest of the season, and that was always the plan, but, now it's been 2 weeks since Christmas, so if I were to do a Christmas-themed episode now, it would be weird. I probably wouldn't even use the Christmas intro like I did for the rest of the season, but yeah, these last 2 episodes are pretty disconnected, and if you're a Cars Adventures fan, I definitely suggest checking them out, because they are very important to the future of the series, more so than any other episode in this season. And that's saying something, because this season brought back the lemons. Tuesday's episode in particular is going to be called Mel and Chuki's Big Announcement. It's going to be a Mel and Chuki episode, of course, so there won't be much plot to it, but I'm making it because it announces something very important for the future of Cars Adventures. More on that in the future, though. For reviews in 2022, there's really nothing for me to say. They're reviews, you know? It's never really necessary for me to bring up reviews in channel updates. I'm going to keep doing reviews, obviously. That's something I always do. Same can be said for my thoughts. When there are new things that I would like to give my thoughts on, then I will, whether that be about diecasts or as we get closer to it, things regarding cars on the road. Speaking of which, come the end of 2022, we will finally have that series out. So I will definitely be doing a bunch of content on it. This update's more so for like the first, I'd say 2 or so months of 2022. So I'm not really thinking about that now, but I will be doing like full episode breakdowns, my thoughts episodes, reviews, basically anything regarding it. Anyway, moving on to some other series. You know, all my series will continue, of course, the ones that are currently running. Um, how I'd rate Cars 3, I kind of completely forgot about, and I should probably finish that. Mystery Racer Adventures is not canceled, it just hasn't had an episode in about 5 months, and there are still no tractor shorts as promised. So those are all things that I'd like to do. I'd like to finish How I'd Rate Cars 3. I'd like to continue Mystery Racer Adventures. Another thing I'd really like to do soon is the What I Cut from Ty's Cars 4 video, because I promised I'd do that months ago, and it's one that I really want to make, and I think one that a lot of people will find very interesting. Then there are other series like Weird Products, which of course will continue. I recently did the Weird Knockoff Products video, which a lot of people watched, so I'll definitely be doing more Weird Knockoff episodes in the future. Next Weird Products will probably be on the tuners, or maybe, I think it's more likely now, I'd really like to do another episode on just McQueen products. So that might be the next one, the tuner one might be the next one, or maybe another knockoff episode. Um, then there's the story of and have you heard of, which I haven't made many entries of recently, but that's something in 2022 I'd really like to do a lot more of. For the story of, where I talk about canceled Cars concepts, I am going to continue doing the regular shorter episodes you guys are used to, but I'd also like to do some longer, sort of like mini documentary style episodes on some other things. There are 3 topics in particular I really want to do like even larger deep dives on. Those being the Cars Precision series, the Luigi's Flying Tires ride that used to be at Disneyland, and finally, To Protect and Serve, the canceled Cars tune. These are 3 things I'd really like to discuss. I'm going to go all in for them. Very excited to do those 3 episodes. They're probably going to be longer than a lot of other episodes of Have You Heard Of. Next Have You Heard Of episode, though, will of course be on Zill, a long-awaited, for me at least, update to my older Zill video. The companion series, The Story Of, Have You Heard Of, I introduced last year, and is a series I really like, although there are currently only 3 episodes of it. Have You Heard Of can be a very versatile series, because the entire concept of it is just that I talk about obscure Cars content in it, and it's what I'm going to continue doing with it into the future. One thing that I'd really like to start doing for the series is covering some obscure Cars characters or obscure lore or whatever. And another thing I'd like to start doing for it, which is actually what the next episode is going to be about, releasing in a few days from now, is some obscure fan content. I'd really like to start covering some fan-made content, you know, highlight it. One episode I'd really like to do is one on the Cars video game mods, like the Cars High Octane Edition and stuff. I find that stuff so interesting, and in order to do it, I think for that I'd like to get in contact with, or maybe even interview one of the modders on that. So, if you're a modder who works on like those Cars video game mods, definitely leave a comment on this video, and maybe we could work something out for some kind of video about that, because that's something I'd really like to cover. I also promised a Sense of Right Alliance video if my Weird Knockoffs episode got 50 likes, and it's surpassed that now, so I've got to do it. Yeah. And the final series I'd like to talk about, all the other series, like I said, will continue. I have some big plans for every single car, which isn't saying much because it's just a slideshow series where I show every single version of a certain Cars character, but there are some bigger episodes that I would like to do. For example, I'm currently working on one of Doc Hudson, or for every variant of him, and there are definitely some others I'd like to do as well. But the final thing I'd like to discuss for today is Weird Disney Cars Diecast Errors and Inconsistencies, which easily became my most popular series last year, and it's something I would really like to continue doing into this year. I was doing one episode a month. I might start doing that a bit more frequently. In fact, I almost definitely will for the next 3 episodes. The next episode should be coming out within a few days, and then parts 15 and 16 are going to be huge. For parts 15 and 16, stay with me here, it's going to get ridiculous. I'm going to be implementing an ongoing story to errors and inconsistencies for just those 2 episodes to celebrate 15 episodes. It's going to be a 2-part special for parts 15 and 16. Part 15 is going to include a new parody song like part 10 did, and then part 16 is going to be a full-out musical, and both of them are going to have overarching stories going on in the background of them. And I'm hoping to do that. I'm not sure. The next Errors and Inconsistencies, part 14, should be out in a few days, so those 2 should probably be coming out towards the end of the month / start of next month. And then after that, the series will go back to normal. But one thing I would really like to do is discuss some errors and inconsistencies in the Cars movies, like animation errors and stuff, which is probably the first episode I'll do after part 16. But there you go, guys. This has been 11 minutes and 22 seconds currently, at the time of recording this, of me just talking about plans for the channel this year. Definitely leave some questions in the comments below for that Q&A. I'll see you guys next time. Let me know what you're most excited for on my channel this year. Bye now.